So any questions you have so far, like within trading or just Forex in general that you don't understand, go ahead and post those in the chat box, and then I'll go over and answer them. And if you guys have anything specific to a chart or anything like that, just let me know, what chart, and I'll pull it up. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? So this session is mainly going to be a Q&A. So I want you guys to, ask any questions that you have, and, I'm going to go over those and chart if we need to, or I'll just answer them, overall if I need to. Good entry points and charting info. Really, it's just going to be as long as it takes to get through the questions. So if you guys don't have many questions, then it'll be pretty quick. But if you guys have a good bit of questions, then we'll be here for a little while. Brenda, in terms of entry points and charting info, I'll kind of break down what I do. The main thing that I do is I look for ICT bullish and bearish order blocks. Do you know what that is? So, okay. All right. So, if you don't already know, I have learned the majority of everything I know from trading from ICT, and I use his concepts when trading the markets. So he has labeled these levels of support and resistance, and he calls them ICT bullish and ICT bearish order blocks. So an ICT bearish order block is just a level of resistance, and an ICT bullish order block is a level of support. So, for example, this up candle right here, is an ICT bearish order block. And what makes it a bearish order block is once a down candle closes below it. So you see how this down candle closes below it, Brenda? If it does that below an up candle or a series of up candles, that then classifies it as an ICT bearish order block. So I would use this as a level of resistance. So in this example of AUD USD, I would expect some sort of resistance to be found within this up candle here, and then ultimately, so say it forms a high, and then ultimately we'll trade lower from there. So in terms of a bearish order block, it's just an up candle before a down move, and a bullish order block is just the opposite. It's a series of down candles or one down candle before an up move. If you have two consecutive down candles, then you can just use both of them, but it's not a valid ICT bullish or bearish order block until you have a candle that breaks above it. So here you have a bullish candle that broke above these bearish candles. So then this should be a level of support, right? Well, it didn't hold as support here. It just broke through it and then continued lower. So with that, you had a break in market structure below this low here, and then price was giving you bearish price action, right? It was forming a high, then a low, and this could be a potential lower high, and then ultimately a lower low down here. So that is ICT bullish and bearish order blocks, right? So now, Brenda, in terms of entry tips and chart info, the things that I look for are simply that. I start on a daily time frame like here. So I'm on a 1 day time frame, and I mark up my ICT bullish or bearish order blocks that are closest to me. So this is the bearish order block closest to me, like closest to price action. And then right here we have these two down candles before this push up. Now that would be an ICT bullish order block. So you could see it's already traded into it and found some support and pushed back up. So if we do get a continued move above this, then you could just look for a retest of that and then a continuation higher. So that's something that I would be potentially on the lookout for with AUD USD and a potential retracement back up into this ICT bearish order block here. So once I get this, once I have my higher time frame levels marked out, Brenda, then I just drop into a lower time frame and I'll wait for a break in market structure. And then based off that break in market structure, I'll either buy it or sell it. So, Arnold, in terms of best order blocks to take, there really isn't, the best or worst order block. It's just something that you kind of have to, go through and study, and over time you'll kind of figure out, with whatever pair that you're trading, which order blocks, which order blocks can you trust more than others. Like, for example, I always use daily or 4-hour order blocks, and those have a lot of either buying or selling off of them because they're higher time frame support or resistance levels. So for me, the best order blocks are 4-hour and dailies, but it's really up to you and what you find from your study, Arnold. What do you think of swing low, swing high trend trading, where you use 8 EMA, you would wait for crossover? Personally, I don't use any EMAs or anything like that where I wait for a crossover to determine trend. How I do it is I basically just look for higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows within a higher time frame. So for example, again, we're on a daily time frame with AUD USD. Here we've got a high, we've got a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is a bearish trend, right? But we've just recently traded into a daily support level. So if we do get a push above this ICT bearish order block, which is a level of resistance, well, old resistance should become newfound support, and then we could look for a continuation higher. So this could be a potential sign of a reversal, but we need it to break above here in order to confirm that. So that's kind of how I determine my trend. I don't really focus on EMAs or crossovers or anything like that. So if you guys are just joining in a little late, this is mainly a Q&A session. So if you guys have any questions, I'll be answering them in the charts or just however I need to. But in terms of if you guys are just looking for my outlook on the week and stuff like that, my weekly technicals video will be uploaded tomorrow on my YouTube channel. So we just went over how to determine an ICT order block. Did you miss it? When you say it is close to you, are you talking about the current price level? Yeah, exactly, Brenda. I'm looking for the nearest support or resistance levels on a higher time frame basis. So, for example, you see that price is trading here at 75,389, right? Well, the nearest level of resistance is this ICT bearish order block here. So that's the closest thing to me. Then we have this one up here, right? So in terms of what I'm looking for, I'm going to see, are they working off of this level here, and are they going to do another round of selling? Are they going to start selling it from here, or are they going to break above it? And that will give me an indication of what they're going to do from there. In your opinion and your experience, why do you not consider EMAs? EMAs are just something that I whenever I was learning. It's not really something that I was taught or just implemented in my trading. And a lot of times people use things like that in order to just help like get the trend confirmation. And there are definitely strategies where it works. It's just for my specific style of trading and strategy, I don't particularly need an EMA to help me determine the trend of the market. I just simply look and see what structure is telling me. So what's happening? Is it forming lower highs? Is it forming higher lows? What type of price action am I getting? And then I just go from there. So as you break it down on lower time frames, like for example, if you're on a daily and then you go to a 60-minute, it's coming off of a higher time frame support, and then it's forming higher highs and higher lows here. Once we get a movement above this, that would indicate to me that we have a potential reversal underway for AUD USD. It's whatever candlestick closes below the support or resistance level that you're looking for. So, for example, let me delete all this. All right. So it's whatever candle closes below it. So this right here, this candle right here closes below this candle, which makes this an ICT bearish order block. Now, this one does close below it too. So technically it's valid on this candle, and when this candle opens up and trades into it, you could have shorted it here and got some pips off of this, or you could have just waited for the retest, which we're getting now, and then see if you get further sell off from there. My strategy or style of trading is just technical analysis and price action. So, I mean, it's actually pretty simple. I'm just looking for higher time frame levels to be hit, and then a break in market structure, and that's pretty much all my style is. And then I just enter off of like lower time frame support or resistance levels, which are either near or at a higher time frame level. And in terms of what are the advantages, well, everything that ICT teaches is things that aren't really taught by like most people out there. So in terms of the advantage, there's really nobody. A lot of people out there that are trading are catching like 20, 30 pip moves, right, on like one trade. And of course, if you have multiple positions, you can make 100 pips with 4 orders. But I'm talking about like one single trade, one move. And whenever I'm doing that, I'm calling 100, 150 pip moves just alone on itself. In the paid group on GU, we got 160 pips between GU and UJ on Monday and Tuesday. And then we were pretty much done trading for the week. So, I mean, I would say the advantage of, my style or what ICT's concepts are is just simply like you can catch bigger moves, and it works for any time frame, any currency, any stock, any indice, any crypto. Doesn't matter. It's just price action, just technicals and price action. Is it possible to find manipulation by banks on charts? I mean, yeah, like, over time of you seeing certain things in the charts, you can see like if they're if price is being manipulated on the news and they're just going to run it up into like a support or resistance level and then reverse it, using the news volatility to do that. So yeah, I mean, totally. You can definitely find manipulation by the banks in the charts. You just have to really spend time in the charts and know the things that you're looking for, and also start to recognize patterns and things that they do over time around certain times. And, whether that be a news event, whether that be a day, whether that be a session, you just have to spend the time in the charts, and then you'll start to see the manipulation. So when you do get ICT order block, how do you know which to buy and sell? So if it's a bearish order block, then it's a level of resistance, right? So I'd be looking to sell. And then if it's a bullish order block, I'd be looking to buy because that's support. So it's pretty simple. Looking for a buy here, and then here I'd be looking for a sell. Or here I'd be looking for a sell as well. So I'll be looking for a sell there. And then I'll be looking for a sell up here because these are levels of resistance. Now, of course, these aren't going to be the only things that I'm factoring into my trading, but this is one thing that I would factor in, right? Along with what day of the week are we in? Are we in a session time? Is there an upcoming news release? You know, you over time in trading, you just have like certain things that you start to factor into your trading plan. But I always enter based off of a higher time frame level. So these are the things that I look for to base my entries off of. So it'll always be a level of support or a level of resistance, but I need market structure to be broken in order for me to enter that. And I find that on a lower time frame and then look for my entry. Yeah, Arnold, thanks, man. I appreciate that. A lot of people that, you know, teach ICT. See, like the thing is, I went through ICT's mentorship, but I'll never and can never share the things that I learned in his specific mentorship. But everything that you learn in his mentorship isn't necessarily needed to make money in the charts. There's plenty of things that he teaches with his free material that you can make money with. And, you know, that's really all I use in my trading. Like going through the mentorship gave me everything I needed in terms of like the dictionary and the knowledge on like Forex and trading and things that I should watch out for. And it's allowed me to like think better and clearer whenever I'm looking at the charts. But in terms of like what I'm using for my actual strategy, it's really just the stuff that he's been teaching in his free material. And I actually reached out to him because I wasn't going to start talking about any of this stuff unless he was comfortable with it, because, you know, and I mean, any of you can go watch ICT Inner Circle Trader on YouTube or join his mentorship, any of that stuff, and you can go learn directly from him. There's nothing, I don't have nothing against anybody doing that at all. That's what I did. In fact, I would, you know, recommend that to anybody that's trying to figure out this whole trading thing. So yeah, I'm going to always give him credit, man. I wouldn't know how to trade if it wasn't for him. He's the one who figured all this stuff out and then taught it to us. So that's why I know what I know. Yeah, ICT Inner Circle Trader is his name. Well, that's not his real name, but yeah, Inner Circle Trader. You'll find him on YouTube. What lower time frame candles do you use? I don't, in terms of like candles, I don't really use like candlestick patterns itself, but like, so for example, we're within an ICT bearish order block on a daily time frame level of resistance. So then I would drop into like, you know, a 60-minute time frame, and I already have the idea that I'd be looking to sell it within this red box here, and I would need a break in market structure in order to confirm that sell. So what that would mean is basically a lower low to form. And here you can see we had low, high, higher low, higher high. And then here we had a breakdown where we made a lower low, lower high, lower low. So you could have gotten on board for the sell here, you know, and sold it based off of, you know, this ICT bearish order block. Could have sold it based off this ICT bearish order block here. That's also within the daily ICT bearish order block. So you have that lining up. And then also if you would have pulled your fib, because this is the swing that broke market structure, it came back up to the optimal trade entry levels that are on the fib. So, you know, you got a few things that line up. And that's kind of how I base my lower time frame entries. I don't really use like a candlestick pattern and enter like off like, you know, a doji that formed here off this daily support level. Yes, it did push up from there, but I don't use things like this in order to enter off of. I just use simple support and resistance, and then I'll use my fibs to like measure out the swing and figure out what price level I'm looking to get in. Because anytime I'm looking for a trade, it's like typically a specific price level I'm looking for. Like in this case, it'd be like 75.50. You know, so if it traded up to 75.50, I would sell this. Like, not specifically right now. I would need to see what, I mean, you can't because the market's closed, but I'm saying at the beginning of the week, if we had bearish price action off of this, I'd look to sell it around 75.50 and then target new lows. So that's really how I do my lower time frame analysis. Yeah, ICT is just Inner Circle Trader. Just look him up on YouTube. That's the guy that I learned all my trading concepts from. Well, that is where I learned the ICT bearish and bullish order blocks from. And a lot of you probably haven't heard of that before. So yeah, you'll hear about them in every one of my videos, or you could just look for ICT directly on YouTube. So I don't trade market maker method. No, market maker method, if you're talking about Steve Morrow's course, that was actually something that he created off of ICT's material. So that was actually one of the first people that started reselling ICT's content, and he wasn't too happy about that. But yeah, everything that Steve Morrow is selling is basically something that ICT taught on baby pips. And while it may work, I don't really use levels or anything like that. Some of the things that they do teach in there, like stop raids in the Asian session and stuff like that, are definitely things that are useful. But yeah, head and shoulders, double tops, double bottoms, teacup, I don't look for none of that. It's all that stuff is totally irrelevant to me. It does form in the charts, and people can make money with that stuff. It's just not something that I use in particularly, and I couldn't even see a teacup pattern or head and shoulders if I even tried. I mean, I know what it looks like, but I'm saying I don't my first instinct isn't, oh, a head and shoulders is forming. But as far as double tops and double bottoms, I actually use them for targets. Like here, how we have a double top, I would be using this as a take profit level for a buy, because I don't expect them to hold resistance at double tops or hold support at double bottoms. So yeah, it's a little different way of thinking from what's normally out there, but usually if you think a little bit differently, that's how you get the key to what you're looking for. When you find the lower time frame for your entry, do you enter when the candle has started or wait for the next one to form? So in terms of entering on a candle, I enter, if I'm looking to buy it, I enter on a down candle moving into a level of support. And if I'm looking to sell it, I sell it on an up candle moving into a level of resistance. So it doesn't really matter if the candle's open, about to close, just opened, as long as it's an up or down candle trading into a higher time frame support or resistance level, and I have everything for my trading plan in place within the charts, then I'm cool. It doesn't matter what the candle's doing, or as long as it's an up or down candle relative to whether I'm looking for a buy or sell. For my entries, yes, I always go in after a break of market structure. I'll never call a trade or typically enter a trade live unless I'm just really ridiculous and not following my trading plan for whatever reason. But yeah, I'll never, 99% of the time, I'll never enter a trade unless it's after a break of market structure. It doesn't have to be a break of market structure on a daily or anything like that, but typically a 4 hour or 1 hour, if I get a break of market structure after it's traded into a higher time frame support or resistance level, that's my favorite thing to trade. So I'm all over that. What's my risk management? So I like to use 3 to 5% per trade. So for example, if I'm taking 2 trades, but I'm really confident in the setup, it's, everything's lining up and it's just something I've seen unfold numerous times, then I'll probably risk up to 5% on one trade. And if I'm taking 2 trades, then I would do 2.5% on each trade. So it would total up to 5. I wouldn't do 5% per trade. It would be split up and managed accordingly due to however many orders I was taking or pairs I was trading. But typically I only like to trade 1 pair. I don't like to mess around and trade too many. And those 2 are typically GU and UJ. But I do trail my stop, to once I'm about 20 to 30 pips in profit, I do move my stop loss usually to break even and just kind of let it do its thing. Pip targets, I usually look for about 30 to 50 pips. If I can make that, I'm pretty happy. So I never really like to push it too further than that. But like, for example, let me pull up a picture real quick for you guys. I'll give you an example, kind of how I manage my trades. Okay, here. So if you look, I went short here, right? And I entered as the candle was pushing up into a level of resistance, higher time frame resistance, and it sold off. I closed my first position here at 37, 1.37, 50 pips. Second position, closed at 1.368, 70 pips. Third position and final position closed at 1.3620, which was my target for the week, 130 pips. So between one trade, you could see this is one order because there would be multiple different arrows if there was multiple orders here. This is one order, position 1, partial taken off, partial taken off, partial taken off, right? So between all of this, you got 180 pips plus 70 more. So you got 250 pips between all 3 of these orders here. That's within, it's one trade, but partial profits taken at 3 different levels, over 250 pips. This vertical line delineates one day. You could see May 1st, May 1st, May 1st. This is one day, 250 pips, one day. That's an ugly 5. 250 pips in one day. So back to whoever asked the question earlier about what separates your strategy from others. Not a lot of people are catching big moves like this. They're catching 50 pips with multiple orders, but plus 100 pips, you have to know what you're looking for, and you have to also have confidence in your trade to be able to just, you're not just getting lucky calling 100 pip moves. So yeah, and in terms of how long do I stay in a trade, it's typically only one day. This is like my favorite thing ever. If I can get this, I'll stop trading for the week. So, I mean, there's really, if you get 250 pips in a day, and you have a pretty decent lot size, there's no reason to even trade for the rest of the week. You could do whatever you want. I'm not saying go spend a bunch of money, but obviously you can just chill and there's no reason to stress for the rest of the week. So that was just an example of Monday and Tuesday's trade from the paid group. So be careful on AU Brew. It's forming. Yeah, I actually don't trade AU. I'm just looking at AU for the purpose of this webinar. My favorite 2 to trade are UJ and GU. So AU is really something I don't ever look at, and it was one of the only charts that I had completely blank that I could like draw all over and mark up for you guys without like having to erase my other charts. So that's the only reason I'm using AU, but I don't specifically trade this. What's the smallest account size you'd be able to trade comfortably? Well, whenever you know what you're looking for and what you could do, you could trade any account size. You could trade a $20 account, $100 account. I mean, I've grown several $100 accounts, so you can, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't take an account size for you to be comfortable. It really takes you spending the time in the charts, learning the shit that you need to know, and just what you're looking for you to be comfortable. Then you could start with $20 and you can make $1,000 from $20. Start with 100, make 10 grand. You could do all of that stuff, but you have to, it's not about being comfortable with the account size. You have to be comfortable with yourself, and also, with your trading style, with your, risk management. You have to be comfortable with yourself as a whole and how you trade. And it doesn't matter what account size you use. You could make money from any of it. No problem, T. Hey, bro, for someone that's been in FX trading for a year, that's familiar with trading, but is looking to get better, what would you recommend strategy-wise? Well, what do you do on a daily basis in order to improve your trading? So just give me a list of the things you do, and then I'll tell you what you should be doing or what you're not doing, or what you're doing correctly. Man, you have been following ICT for 2 to 3 years and already live and already sweet. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm in LA. I'm not in Beverly Hills yet, but definitely looking to move out to the more suburban area. I'm in the city right now, so it's super busy and hectic where I'm at. Yeah, bro. That's my bread and butter. That's my favorite. I'm getting into trading UJ more, but I really do like GU. It just moves so clean and it's clear to me. Especially I'm on the West Coast, so trying to trade New York session is super hard for me to wake up, especially if I've been up all night for London. I'll get to bed at 2 a.m. and then I'm supposed to wake up for 4 a.m. for New York session. It's just so hard. Half the time I just end up trading GU in London, and then if I'm already up a good amount of pips, I'll just go to sleep, and then whenever I wake up, I'll just close out or hold it for another day, depending on what I'm looking for. But yeah, GU is definitely Bay. Most common errors and mistakes by traders that you've seen in your students. Honestly, it hasn't been that long yet, but so far, I would say the most common errors and mistakes so far I've seen is just lack of effort. A lot of people aren't utilizing, I think, their resources, and in terms of things that they could be doing, I think a lot of people could be doing a lot to learn, and they wouldn't struggle with trading so much and could actually be a successful trader a lot sooner than they think, but their head's all over the place and they're constantly bouncing from one thing to the other. And, they're like, oh, double tops work. Oh, wait, I'm not going to learn double tops. I'm going to learn Jason Stapleton's strategy. Oh, Jason Stapleton's strategy doesn't work, so let me look at, IML. IML doesn't work, so let me look at Forever and Profit. Oh, Forever and Profit doesn't work. Let me look at this. And then you just have to stick to something. I literally think in terms of best traders out there right now and people that I would learn from specifically, it would definitely be ICT or Q Banks. So Wall Street Academy, Q Banks, he's a beast in Forex. But yeah, as far as common errors and mistakes, Jesse, it's totally lack of effort. A lot of people are looking for the handouts, and since I am somebody who does offer signals, a lot of people are just waiting for the signals, and they're just waiting to take the trade and just press the button to buy or sell, but they're not really looking to learn. And that's cool and all, but at the end of the day, I think everybody should actually learn to trade themselves, because you could see more moves than me, you can make more money than me, you could develop a different strategy than me, all that stuff, but you're never going to learn that if you're just focused on relying on me to call a signal and not asking me questions or participating or reaching out for help, any of that stuff. You can't just, if you rely on signals forever, that's fine, but you're just going to get, the results of, if you're unpleased with the results, then basically you should learn to trade on your own. I spend time on the charts, really love doing that, watch multiple video from ProMaster, support resistance, and really interested in your ICT order block. Yeah, study the ICT order blocks, because in terms of support or resistance, those are like, there's literally nothing else that I'm looking for to base my trade off of the higher time frame other than that in terms of support or resistance. So, if you're not already like actively studying a strategy, or, it doesn't have to specifically be a strategy, but testing things within the market, if you're just spending time on the charts and, you just mark up a bunch of levels or draw a bunch of lines and boxes or whatever, really make sense of it all. Print out your charts, draw on them, take detailed notes where you would have entered, where you would have exited, if you would have closed out too early because of something you've seen, all that stuff. So if you're not already doing that, then make sure that you add that to your like daily to-do list, because that is, that's one of the most fundamentally important things that you could do, is go find things in the charts. That way you can anticipate them going forward. So, if you've seen this happen before, trade into a higher time frame support level, then start forming bullish price action, and then you get a retracement to 79% retracement level after a market structure break, then that may be your favorite setup. That may be your favorite entry pattern. But you're never going to know that unless you like spend the time looking in the charts. So if you're not already doing that, I highly recommend, spend some time in the charts doing that, but not just, saying you're spending time in the charts, but actually do work in the charts, print them out, write in your journal, do everything you can. You got to, if you want to figure this out, then you got to give it pretty much everything that you got. Let's see. Using your strategy, how long do you spend looking for setup and executing it? Like 5 minutes. It's simple. So over the weekend, like right now, Saturday and Sunday, I go through all my charts. I go through all my pairs that I'm going to be watching for the week. I go through Forex Factory. If you haven't watched my live London session recording on my YouTube, go watch that, because I'll just link it in the chat for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, because literally I go down step by step every single thing that I do in order from when I sit at the charts during London session. So I'm really only trading during London session primarily, and if I can wake up, or if I go to bed early, then I'll do New York session too, but typically I'm just trading London session. So I just linked that video in the chat. If you guys haven't seen this video, go check it out, because I literally give you the in-depth breakdown of what I do from start to finish when I sit down at the charts, and then when I'm finished. But yeah, it only takes me about 5 minutes, and that's because I have everything marked out on my charts beforehand. Like here, for example, if I go to GU, I have all the things on my GU chart that I'm waiting for. So I know what this is, I know what this is, I know what this is, I know what I'm waiting for. And if I get that, then simple, it takes me about, anywhere from like 5 to 30 minutes to wait for, the setup on a lower time frame. And then I'll just enter, and that's it. So it really, and that's how it is really, I think, with any strategy. I don't know a ton of strategies out there, but, the very few that I know of, it's really simple in terms of how you want to, I have no idea what just happened and why that came across the screen. Um, yeah, it doesn't really take long at all in order to execute a trade idea, because I do it all over the weekend. I figure out everything I'm looking for, and then I just execute off of it during either London or New York session, whichever one I'm looking to trade off of. Sorry, give me a second, guys. I'm just trying to find the next question. Appreciate the info, T. Have you ever held a trade? Yeah, I'll hold a trade. I'll hold a trade for a week or a month. It just depends on if it's a swing trade. If it's a longer term trade, then of course. But I would have to be working off of a monthly or weekly time frame. Just like, for example, here, this is a monthly time frame. We've got bullish price action unfolding. So, technically I could buy it here, place my stop loss below this low, and then target these highs. And this would be a trade that could, unfold over the next 4 months. Obviously, risk would be, a lot smaller because your stop loss and everything's going to be a lot bigger. You would have, about a 350 pip stop loss, and then your first profit objective would be about 620 pips. So yeah, I'll hold a trade for a whole week. It's just if I'm looking, if a swing trade is setting up or something like that. But typically I just like to stay to like day trades and stuff like that, because I don't like waiting so long. It just gets aggravating and I'm not that patient. I like to be like in and out of trades frequently rather than like wait months for a trade to unfold. I don't know what to do with myself. Do I use indicators? No, I don't. I don't use any indicators. The only indicator I ever have on my chart is just the Asian session indicators for what am I saying? The only indicators I ever use are the Asian session indicators, and it's just I downloaded it from Forex Factory, just ICT Asian session, and I just loaded that into my MetaTrader chart. So like, when I'm trading off of my computer, and because I actually enter my orders off my computer, and I just use TradingView to like do like my analysis and markup and all that. But when I'm looking at my chart on MetaTrader, I just have like a blank chart, and then I just have Asian session marked out, so I can just kind of figure out what the price action is going to do for the day. When is the low of the day going to form? Where is it going to form? All that stuff. And Asian session kind of helps me with all that. Give us the sources. What sources are you talking about? I'm giving you everything. What am I holding back? Yeah, you could definitely master it, man. You just have to, put in the time, stay consistent, don't give up. Like I've been at this for 4 years now. When I first looked at a chart, I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know anything that I was looking at. Trading is like one of the only things in my life that I've like stuck through and actually been able to learn, from start to finish. It's just like riding a bike, right? Like that's probably the first thing that most of us learned, or swim or walk or whatever it was. But you had to go through certain levels of learning and certain processes and all that stuff to figure that out. And trading, like it's really cool to have seen, where I was at the start, and then what I've been able to accomplish, just in this short amount of time. It's pretty crazy the things that are possible. Stick with one strategy and master it. Yeah, man, totally. It's so easy to just keep jumping around looking for things, but no, if you stick to one strategy, there's multiple different strategies that you can use to make money with, and all of that. It's just really what works best for you. I just like to trust the trades that I'm taking, and honestly, it allows me to trust the trades I'm taking by just the style of trading that I implement, just because I've been doing it for a while now. What about Forex LG? I'm not sure what that is. What is Forex LG? Q Bank's Twitter handle, I'm not sure, man. Just you could probably Google Q Banks or Quillen Black, but he's another trader. Can you show another example with a different pair of finding the order block? Yeah, sure. Let's see. Here, we'll just use UCAD. It'll be easy. All right, so USD CAD, ICT bullish and bearish order block. These two candles, ICT bullish order block. Once this candle breaks above it, that confirms that it's an ICT bullish order block. Okay? Next candle opens, trades into the bullish order block, pushes away. So you could have bought it here, stop loss below here, and then your target could have been here, 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 wherever you're targeting. But this is an ICT bullish order block. It's just one down candle or a series of down candles, as long as they're consecutive next to each other, then you can use both of them or three of them or four of them, however many are next to each other. But if you have a down candle and then an up candle, then down candles, you wouldn't use these three because you have an up candle in here. So you just use these two down candles. It's just consecutive candles next to each other. So you have to wait for the next candle to confirm it. If it's a bullish order block, you need a bullish candle to confirm it by closing above the bearish candles. And then for a bearish order block, it's the exact opposite. It's up candles. It's up candles before a down move. So right here, you have two up candles. Then this candle here closes below them. So then any trade back within that should hold as resistance and then trade lower. So that's a bearish order block. This is a bullish order block. They're opposite, right? Bullish order block, think down candle before an up move. Bearish order block, think up candle before a down move. And you'll be able to see these super easy just over time of you going through the charts, and you'll be able to see it relatively easy. You just have to go spend the time looking for them in the charts. Are there correlating markets you watch? Yeah, I watch. So primarily I trade GBP USD or USD JPY. So I'll look at dollar index always to determine the majors. And then Euro GBP if I'm trying to trade Euro or GBP, which primarily I'm trading GBP. So I don't really, look at that too much as far as, Euro dollar, but I do look at Euro GBP in order to determine direction. And then GBP JPY just a little bit, just because my primary two pairs are GBP USD and USD JPY. So yeah, the correlating markets are dollar index, GBP, Euro GBP, and GBP JPY. Have you tried trading options? No, I haven't traded options before. Any hedging strategies? Yeah, anytime market structure breaks, then just add another position on the break of market structure. So just for example, let me get the little drawing tool. All right, here, low formed. So say you bought it here. Market trades higher. Bam, you get a retest here. You could have bought it again. Market trades higher, retest structure, could have bought it again. Trades higher, retest structure. This structure over here, retest, trades higher. So any hedging strategies, if you're going to do 1.0, then you could have did, say you did like 0.40, and then you added 0.20, and then you added another 0.20, and then you added another 0.20, totaling up to one standard lot, but you've got the majority of your position here, so you catch the full move, and then you add smaller positions along the way. So that would be, a little hedging strategy or hedging tip. Hey, bro, what do you think Q Banks is doing strategy-wise? A lot of traders place the same trades with high lot sizes. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, I think his strategy is fine. It's something that he's learned over time, and it's something that, he's able to trust and place higher lot sizes behind. And then once he educates his students on that, they're able to do the same. I don't see myself being any different. So in terms of his trading style is a lot similar to, just from videos I've watched, is a lot similar to mine and the things that I look for. There's just a few things that, he does that I don't do, and then I'm sure that I probably do that he doesn't do. But in terms of style, it seems very similar. I mean, I've heard him talk about how he's looking for a break in market structure and all that stuff. But yeah, once you see the same thing unfold, time and time again, you can place higher lot sizes. You don't have to, necessarily follow your 5% risk rule if you've seen the same trade setup unfold over and over again. It's just, if you don't spend time in the charts to see it actually unfold, you'll never know. So it'll take you a lot longer to figure it out. And from what I've seen of Q, he seems to be somebody who's also, put in the work. So it's clear, man, if you put in the work, you'll get the results. It's simple. Sometimes I'm just sitting around for hours waiting for the charts to tick out. Yeah, me too. I mean, sometimes I'll sit in front of charts and it may be 12 hours, but, don't just sit there and do nothing. Make sure you're studying. You can have, do split screen or something. If you only have one screen, do split screen on one screen. If you have two screens, then, open up another screen and go do some back testing, watch a video, listen to, I don't know, motivational speech, something. I watch a lot of YouTube videos or listen to some music, meditation or anything like that while I'm trading, just to kind of have some noise and also just, relax the mind a little bit. Yeah, and if you find yourself taking profits too early, just go to sleep. If you're already up 20 or 30 pips, move your stop loss to break even and go to sleep. Yeah, in terms of passing the time, I'll either listen to 432 hertz meditation music or sounds, or I'll also just watch a YouTube video, either some other successful people talking, like a Jeff Bezos talk, or I don't know, just anything. I'll just figure out a better YouTube strategy, or if I have a specific question about some type of Instagram thing or YouTube thing, then I'll figure it out and I'll learn that alongside. I'm actually going through a course right now, a consulting course, and each video is about 3 hours a day, so it takes me a while to go through that. So I've been kind of watching one video while also having the charts up. That's just been lately, though. This is a 6-week course that I'm going through, so that'll only be for 6 weeks. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather make 100 pips from one trade too. It's a lot less stressful, and you're able to be a lot more precise. You can put a standard lot behind 100 pips, and then, I mean, think about it. It's a nice little payday. Yeah, bro, put in that work for sure. If so many people, it's evident, man. So many people are out there just trying to trade, but they're not really trying to trade. They're just trying to copy other people's stuff. They just either want to like copy people's trades or have them do the work for them and account management and all that shit. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Nobody's willing to put in the work. That's why nobody sees results. The people that do put in the work, they do see the results. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take anything. It just takes time. Time and patience. If you have time and patience, you'll fucking make it, and then you'll have as much money as you want. For a beginner, how do you know how to come up with a strategy if you're learning? Well, you go find a person who has a strategy and you learn from them. So, for example, I've named several people, like I teach my strategy. ICT teaches his strategy. Other people teach their strategies. Like learn from them, try out their stuff. I have plenty of free content. Go through my free content on YouTube, join my Facebook groups, my Telegram group. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. You can, reach out with any questions or all that stuff. But if you watch my YouTube videos, and you would already learn my strategy and figure out how I analyze and look at the charts, and then be able to start implementing that in your trading. How many pips do you risk for your stop loss? 20 to 30 pips mainly for my stop loss. So I don't, and it's mainly because it's a day trade, right? It's only 20 to 30 pips I'm looking for in terms of risk, and sometimes it's even 10 pips. I don't like to have like a 5 pip stop loss, but most of the time it's about 10 to about 20 pips. But, when people ask me this question, I like to say 20 to 30 pips just because that's practical and that's reasonable. But once you've been trading for a little while, you can have really, really small stop losses. But primarily for me, whenever I'm trading like on my own, like, not like speaking to the group or anything like that, it's usually about 8 to 15 pips for my stop loss. So I'm usually, if I'm wrong, it's a very, very minimal hit on my account. And then, if I take an 8 pip loss, who cares if I've made 100 pips, from the previous trade. So you got to use proper risk management, and also let your wins outweigh your losses. And that just comes with time. Sweet. Thanks for the feedback, man. I really appreciate that. Reach out to Aaron Fifield and get interviewed on Chat with Traders. Okay, cool. Let me write that down. I've never heard of that person before. Aaron Fifield. Chat with Traders. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate that. I've never heard of him before, or even heard of Chat with Traders. So I'd like to check that out and see what that is. I like hearing other trader stories too. It's super interesting. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I mean, honestly, maybe living in a different country for a bit, because I want to check out either Australia or Europe. I've been in the U.S. my whole life, so I want to live out the country for a bit. So once my girlfriend finishes school and everything, we'll probably move out the city, but I don't necessarily think we'll move out the country forever, but maybe for a few months. That's kind of what I'd like to do as a 5-year goal. No, I've never heard of Chat with Traders. Is it like one of those things that like every Forex trader knows about or something, and I'm just like late to the party? I've been so focused like on, ICT's material the past couple years, and then just like developing my strategy and stuff. I haven't even looked at the only other trader I've come across is Q Banks, like I said, and that was through Instagram. He's like the only person on Instagram that I've seen that trades Forex. And then I know I've seen the guy, Ricky Gutierrez. He trades like stocks and stuff. He's a good trader too, I think. I haven't really looked into much of his stuff either, but what would I get from your mentorship and training, and what does it require to be a part of it? Yeah, so it's not really a mentorship or necessarily like a training course, right? It's more of like a kind of like a developmental, like hand holding thing, like anything that you're struggling with in your trading, like you can reach out to me. We hold live webinars like this, but it's a more private setting just for the group. And, we just go over anything they're struggling with. But it's a lot more specifics, right? A lot of times in the free group, like I give you guys the same signals and stuff that I'm taking, but I'm obviously not going to give you every single trade that I'm taking in the free group, right? So I may call 1 to 2 trades in the free group, but I try to call like 3 to 5 trades, 3 to 5 trades a week in the paid group. So, apart from more trade signals, you get direct access to me. And then we do usually like 1 live session a week is what I try to do. Minimum 3 per month, but I like to do at least 1 a week. And then we'll do like a Q&A. We'll go over the charts. And then if there's like a specific setup, we'll do a live trading session where I'll trade in front of them live. And, we'll manage the order together and all that stuff. So far, we've only done 1 of those live trading sessions, but I look to do a lot more live trading sessions in the future rather than just like Q&A, because I think a lot more people will get value seeing me actually in front of the charts placing a trade, and also not just placing the trade, but a lot of people don't know what to do once they get in the trade. So my goal is to kind of educate people on what to do once they're in the trade, how to manage that trade, how to make sure that you can make money, how to stay profitable, all those things. So yeah, that's pretty much what goes on in the paid group. You get access to the private Telegram and Facebook chat. So we have the Signal group, the chat group, and then we have the Facebook group. So that's all in there. Aaron. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jesse, for the link. Yeah, man, I'll go check that out. What do I think about IML? I mean, it's IML. It's like not really something specific that I think about, IML, but they're a network marketing company. I don't think they're a great trading company or anything like that. I don't think they provide great trading education, but I think they're a good network marketing company if you want to be a network marketer and if you want to do that whole, if you want to like build a team around a company and stuff. But their product is essentially Forex. So they trade and, they use these tools that they've developed or had developed for them as just as like their solution to people that want to quit their job or whatever they want to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anything negative of them. They're actually, they're good marketers. Yeah, it's totally more of a marketing MLM than education and trading. Education and trading, you have to learn from traders. You got to learn from people that are actually trading, and I'm sure there may be a few people that actually trade in IML. I know 1 or 2 people that are decent traders over there, but in terms of their primary focus is to grow their team. My primary focus is to make money in the markets. So I focus on that, and I don't know. I mean, I personally feel that if you're learning from someone in the trenches, actually, like, in the charts, and if someone with IML is doing that, then by all means, go for it. Just for me, I'd rather build my own name and reputation by myself versus of attaching it to a company. If someone is out in the LA area, do you ever do a meetup and just go in depth? Yeah, I mean, I'm down. I've met up with 2 people, just friends that I've met since I've been out here, but I haven't like met up with anyone from the paid group or anything yet. But totally, I mean, if you're out in LA, we can link up and just go over some things that you're struggling with. How much is it to get that access? Yeah, so if anyone's interested, I do have a paid group. My paid group, it's $25 a month, super simple. I mean, I'm not looking to like charge everybody, out the ass, to make a monthly check or something. It's a $25 commitment, but you're making that commitment to yourself. When you pull out and you pay $25 for something every month, you're committed to learn. You're committed to give me your time. You're committed to, spending the time in the charts and doing the shit that you need to do in order to get this thing working. So, yeah, I mean, if anybody's interested in the paid group, I'll post a link for that in the chat box. Give me 1 second, guys. So once you click the link, it'll just redirect you to a PayPal link, and then it's just like, it's a $25 recurring thing. And then if you want to cancel or anything, you could just cancel at any time. So you could just go in the little recurring payment section and cancel, or just send me a message and I'll cancel it for you. No big deal. So yeah, that's the info for the paid group if anybody's interested in that. Do you teach your strategy in the paid group? Actually, I teach my strategy on YouTube. So a lot of people just they're not either watching the video or what, but yeah, all of my strategy, of course I teach it in my paid group, so it's more in depth. But in terms of, do I teach my strategy? Yeah, my strategy is currently right now at this moment on my YouTube channel. Everything that I do, how to define a break in market structure, what I do with my fibs, how I find my entries, how I find my exits, live sessions of me breaking down the charts, analysis of me breaking down the charts beforehand, the week ahead. It's all there. All there. So yeah, I give a more in-depth explanation, it's not specifically anything more, but it's more or less what are the things that, they're struggling with after learning how I read the charts. So they see how I read the charts, and then they'll ask me, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And then I'll go in depth either in a video or, I'll hop and send a voice message in the chat group, or we'll do a live session or whatever the case may be. But, it's kind of more of an in-depth strategy. But if you just want to learn my strategy, it's on YouTube right now. It's fully there for free. Yeah, cool, man. If you're interested and you want to go ahead and join the paid group, go for it, bro. I'd appreciate you, committing to that, because I think let me see. So far, we've got 29. We got 29 people in there. So I do a premium access chat, and then I have premium signals. So the premium access chat is where everybody gets to, talk to me, and then I'll send videos, or we'll send, we'll share pictures of charts or whatever. And then the other one is just mainly for me to post signals. So I'm letting probably 5 to 7 more people. I think I'm going to get up to 35. I only want to keep 35 people in the chat group as well, because I don't want the chat to get too overwhelmed with I don't know if you guys have been in other Telegram groups, but you can get in a group and then they'll start letting a bunch of people in, and then you can't even talk to the person anymore because there's so much going on in the chat. So it's primarily this $25 service will eventually just be signals. But in the meantime, until I hit that threshold number that I'm looking for of 35 members, so I'm at 29, so I got 6 spots technically. And I'm willing to let it go to maybe about 40 people to have access to the chat too. But after that, it's just going to be signal group, and then you can contact me in the private Facebook group. But yeah, it won't be any more additional access to that chat. That's going to close down at 35, 40 people, because I also made a commitment to the people that are in there, right? I don't want to add 50 more people to that and then them not get the value that they signed up for. So I'm also going to make sure I hold that commitment to them. So Jesse, if you just signed up, bro, after the webinar, I'll go ahead and I'll shoot you the info via email. or just send me a message on Facebook too, and I'll shoot it to you over there. But I usually just respond to the email that's on file with your PayPal, and I send you all the information to join the Telegram groups. Yes, all for the same price. It's $25 a month, and you get all that. So you get as of right now, you get the chat, and then you get the Signal service, and you get the Facebook group with the live sessions and the signals, all that stuff. But in terms of the chat, I'm only letting that go up to, 5 to 10 more people, 35, 40 people is the max I'm going to let get in the chat group. And then everybody else will just be paying for primarily just signals, because over time, my time is going to be filled up with, different things to do, like as we grow. So I may not I can't answer 150 people in the chat group, but I can handle 35 to 40 people. So yeah, eventually it's just going to be the Signal group, but as of right now, I still have 5 to 10 groups. So there's 8 people on this webinar. If all 8 of you signed up right now, I would have 2 spots left. So still I'd have a little bit of room, but usually I get 1 to 2 people that sign up a day. So we could be full in the next few days, but it's all up to you. You can't take action if you don't have the funds to take action. But that's also why I made it $25. Not a lot of people are selling anything for $25. In terms of Forex education, access, signals, all that stuff. I mean, a few people from the private group made a couple $100 last week. That's $25 for $100. Even if it's $100, you just paid for 4 months. So yeah, that's it. I kind of just went on a little bit of a rant. But what do I do if I want to be mentored by you? So if you scroll up, or I'll just paste it again, I have a private group, and in that private group, that's basically like my mentorship per se that I have. So yeah, if you want to be mentored by me, then join the paid group. And if you don't have money to join the paid group, cool. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram at jrodforex, and I'll do what I can to help you out. The same signals are the same trades everything that I send in the paid group are all the same live trades that I'm taking. So all the ones that you see on Instagram or, all that stuff, Facebook, those are the same trades that I'm sending to the paid group. All right, guys. So we've been on here for a little over an hour now. Does anybody else have any questions before we hop off? Okay, cool. Yeah. So for the people that signed up while we were on the webinar, I'll go ahead and send you an email as soon as we hop off, and then I'll send you the links for the private Telegram chat, Signal group, and also for the Facebook group. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, Brenda. No rush. Don't feel pressured or anything like that. If you have any more questions, just hit me up, and then just stay plugged in. Join the free group. Watch the YouTube videos. Just try to stay plugged in so you can keep up to date on like what I'm doing, and also join the free Signal group, because I still send 1 or 2 free signals in the free group. So join that if you're not already in there. All right, guys. So that's it for this live session. Appreciate all of you for coming out, and I will see you on the next one. And for everybody that signed up, I will go ahead and send you an email in just about 5 minutes. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to shut this down. So have a good one, guys. Take it easy.